Well, hello everybody, that's right, the Summit is back. It's the Summit 5 European Qualifier. We're in Phase 2 of the action, and the matchup we're going to be starting with today is Alliance versus Team Empire. Let's take a look at the current bracket so you can see where we do stand. Yesterday we covered a lot of that upper bracket run where Virtus Pro have been the first team to claim a final spot. Now we got to work our way through the lower bracket to see who their competitor is going to be, which we'll know by the end of the day, I believe. So we're going to have Alliance versus Empire to start. The winner of that has Ad Finem, the Greek squad, waiting for him. And then we'll have Ad Finem versus that team. And then tomorrow, that means that we are going to have our BO5 Grand Final to find out which European team is going to be coming out to beautiful Los Angeles in our friendly environment of good old fun and Dota action. I'm B on the Summit, and that's from KotLGuy. I'm going to be joined once again by Ryuuboruzz. What's up, my brother? How are you doing today? Okay, I can't hear you, and that might be my bad. Is it my bad? I think I'm on. I should be on here.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
yeah,
that's your bad.
10 seconds.
I said hello, Headmaster. You muted me.
No, I did not mute you. I did not. I swear.
You did.
All right.
No, that was my fault. For some reason, I thought I muted it, but I didn't. Oh well. We lost.
Welcome, Ryu. We have Empire versus Alliance on the docket here. How you feeling about our opening matchup?
Yeah, it should be a really fun one. Obviously, after yesterday's performance, we could always say that Team Empire it could be a little bit favored for them, like 65 or 60 to like Alliance, because it looked like VP could have won both of the games really fast. Like they could have just 2-0 stomped Alliance, and we could have been just like, wow, VP are so strong right now. And you could potentially see the same thing here for Team Empire, just because Team Empire has been playing so much more than Alliance, and I think that's just why teams are just doing so much better in this patch, is because they keep playing, and they know constantly where they need to rotate, where they need to go, all the picks and stuff. So Alliance maybe a little bit too cold right now. We'll have to see how it's going to work out. But man, Disruptor, it used to be like one of those heroes you would just pick up like second phase at times, like fourth or fifth pick. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, for these games in Europe, it's first pick. It's first pick material now.
Definitely see a difference dividing between these regions on what kind of priorities they do put in some of the supports, or at least what kind of priorities they put in their first phase. And I agree with you. We've been seeing a load of Disruptor play here recently. I love the hero. He's like in my personal top 3 of favorite supports to play. I feel like he's always relevant to the game, but yeah, there are times when it feels like the Disruptor is just more of a niche pick. Typically good against like high mobile heroes that are easy to lock down. Obviously very good against the likes of like a Wisp, which could be the reason, maybe Empire wanted to open up with it, but they did obviously give respect to the Wisp and banning it out first. But it's also very good against popular Alliance picks like S4's Puck, let's say. So just overall strong crowd control, and it does limit the options of what Empire can even go for. So, and yeah, we saw it yesterday and how good it was with the Alliance versus Virtus Pro series. So we'll see what Alliance can do with it in their own hands. And they even followed up with an early core pickup, a bit unusual for some of these teams, but Alliance feel confident about it here, while Empire just get a very strong 1-2 punch. You get the Earth Spirit, a lot of aggression towards the mid lane, so we could be seeing the S4 Puck in this game to avoid that early confrontation, whether it be the Puck or the Quap, both easy at avoiding that kind of trouble. And when Earth Spirit comes packing an Ion Shell jacket, it just makes those early roaming that much more devastating.
Right. Sometimes you want to get like a BKB hero in the mid lane to deal with the Disruptor in these situations, like a Dragon Knight or something else. Like a DP could still go for the BKB too. That's why they banned it out. But they're just going to go for the Lion right here. We saw it a lot yesterday, where you have the Lion synergy with the Dark Seer Vacuum. You also have the synergy with the Kick too, if you can time that really well. So they have 2 setups now for huge plays with massive AoE stuns, and it's always nice to have. Another thing to talk about the Disruptor real quick here is the Disruptor is amazing against Dark Seer in the lane, especially when you have a Juggernaut now. In this situation, you can glimpse him back and you can kill him 99% of the time if you have another support there, plus the spin on top of him. So Alliance, what are they going to pick right now? Are they going to pick up the other support? Okay, so that's I was going to talk about the best 3 hero supports I like playing actually too. It was like Disruptor, Rubik, and Earth Spirit. I don't know how you feel about. I know Earth Spirit for you is probably the same too, and Disruptor. But I don't know who your third was. But Rubik for me is just so fun to play, just because you can.
You don't know who my third
steal
is?
someone.
Come on.
KotL. Okay, fine.
Actually, playing KotL nowadays is absolutely.
Yeah,
terrible.
I've never seen you play KotL anymore. So
That's why I don't.
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
That's why, yeah.
You'd think Alliance would be one of my bros to
Reserve
typically
time.
play the hero when Ake is just such a memorable KotL player in his own right. But I don't blame the guy for not picking it up often. He's, you know, I was talking about Disruptor being a niche pick. KotL right now is a mega niche pick, and it's typically only paired when you have your own lineup, which requires, you know, delaying the game or just being that taxi express service for your core to go from lane to lane, which used to be something Alliance just had to a T with like Loda on a Naga or a PL, but nowadays that's just not really you know, the cool thing to do. And then we already know Earth Spirit's a top tier support. He was nerfed pretty hard. The Boulder Smash now is nowhere near a guarantee stun unless you're right on top of him, which is something that needs to be set up, whether it be a Blink Dagger commitment like we see from Earth Spirit players like Crit, or you just need to be landing a successful, you know,
10
rolling
seconds
boulder, which
remaining.
sometimes can just get you in trouble. So it can be almost a gamble right now to make sure you can
5
connect with the Earth
seconds
Spirit,
remaining.
otherwise you put yourself in a bit of trouble. Well, I was banking, Ryu, that we were going to be seeing the puck, but it's
Reserve
Empire who
time.
pick it up. Could be a bit of a deny pick so that Alliance can't take it. And we could be seeing a puck versus possibly Queen of Pain, Fistful of Tangos matchup. We'll see if that's something that Gustav does consider or not.
I think he's thinking about Dragon Knight right now.
Yeah, Dragon
In
Knight
all
also
honesty.
very good. Yeah, yeah.
It's really good in this situation where if you can get a BKB on the hero, and you might be forced into, you know, a Juggernaut going either Manta style early on for all these silences, or the two silences coming out from Earth Spirit and Puck, or BKB on him. But once they get him, they can just control these team fights heavily. Another great hero, Dragon Knight, for the sustain, because there's a lot of magical burst damage right now. Having that added on, that's why you see the Rubik is. This is a pretty good pick here, having that no field, and I really like having these two supports. Yeah, okay. So then you have the two supports now, and the Rubik and Disruptor. Even if Earth Spirit comes down there with a Darkseer, they still won't be able to kill or do anything. So this is actually forcing Darkseer into the jungle. Else he's just going to feed in the offlane with having to disrupt the Rubik Juggernaut. And Dragon Knight should be able to get a lot done in the mid lane, just because he might even get, you know, 2 in Dragon Blood, because there could be a roaming Earth Spirit. But S4 Puck versus Dragon Knight matchup, it's pretty dead even. All you have to do is just really bottle Crow for the Dragon Knight, and you can keep up with CS. So that's fine. And now Team Empire, they need a heavy right clicker. Clinks is the biggest hero right now. Ursa is pretty good too.
5 seconds.
Been seeing a lot of
remaining.
Clinks when typically paired up with something like a Void, but the Alucard Clinks can work out. Spectre getting the nod. It's, you know, not something we see a lot from most of the teams, but it's something that Empire will frequently fall back on in many of the recent matches. So Alliance have been doing a little bit of their research and want to make sure they don't get that one. And a rare sight to see that Alliance are going to be preserving the Bulldog pick for the
10
very end.
seconds remaining.
They obviously had been respect betting him almost all the way through on the side of
5
Empire, getting
seconds
rid of the Beastmaster, getting rid of course, the Lone Druid, the Nature's Prophet, Tidehunter. But hey, Faceless Void is still there. Dragon Knight not typically good, or Jug on the outside, so that might be passed over. So now we have to kind of consider what other options are there. We could see a Bat Rider is a Bulldog classic also. Other options though for offlaner, because also, you know, Darkseer being taken by Empire leaves only a select few remaining.
I thought about the Faceless Void too. Could be the
Void
best in this
and
situation.
Bat Rider are like the two in my mind. Maybe Bristleback. Then you're kind of reaching a bit for Bulldog, unless there's something that you know, that's just not coming to my mind right now. We don't have the benefit, of course, of seeing the hero list. And a Doom, of course.
Team Empire's turn to pick.
That hero normally gets banned out first phase, but in this game, a lot of the Vision heroes were removed, like the Night Stalker Bounty Hunter. So Doom here, it's another great hero. They have 2 tanky heroes. Juggernaut can be very
10
squishy early on
seconds
at times, but he'll normally build into, you know, I hope he goes for a Manta
5
style this game, as I
seconds
talked about
remaining.
earlier with the silences. But tanky heroes here, you have the healing ward to work with,
time.
and it's going to be very hard for Team Empire to burst these heroes down now. So we have to think about what can burst heroes in this situation. It has to be Clinks. I don't think Ursa is going to be good enough, but Clinks is like your only carry in this situation, and if he gets doomed, then he's screwed. So maybe Lycan actually. Lycan is pretty good this game. You need something to get Roche early on if you win team fights. Else, I don't feel they're going to be able to control this game well enough for Team Empire, because they have to get a tremendous amount of kills this game if they want to beat Alliance in the later game stages. Yeah, there you go.
Wonderfully done. It will be the Lycan. It's, you know, something we've been seeing a lot from teams like Na'Vi and even Empire here. It's almost a bit on the, you know, heavy face rush side, but they are on Dire side. And, you know, you're right. Really, they need the DPS to come fast and hard from somewhere when you're already sporting, like, you know, a puck as your core. They're going to have to make up for that damage somewhere else. So with the Lycan commitment already, Ryu, what do you think about how the timing is going to be going? It feels like, obviously, for Alliance, they can play with the clock a bit and have some late game to scale into. Do you think that's the case, and Empire might need to kind of be a bit pressed for time to kind of get the ball moving sooner than later?
Oh yeah, for sure. They're on a timing. I think Alliance's draft is, they're both very strong at the mid game, but I think the edge goes to Team Empire because they'll have a mech carrier in the darks here, and their wombo combo is just better. Whereas Alliance, they have very tanky heroes, great sustain, and Empire's on the Dire side this time. That's why I would give this edge to the first, 20, 30 minutes to them, because I could see them easily getting 2 Roshes and being able to end this game relatively soon. And Alliance, they need to make sure they're having the rotations. Like, yesterday we saw them get run over by VP.
Yeah.
And that's because they didn't rotate fast enough in the first game. Second game, they made adjustments and they rotated constantly with all the heroes. That's where we saw Bulldog be like 16-1 on Faceless Void. So it's going to have to be kind of like that for Alliance. They just need to constantly rotate because Empire are going to play super aggressive this game.
And something else we were seeing a lot of yesterday in both of our series was the ward games happening before even the sound of the horn. And we're seeing it a bit here. Alliance, keeping up with that tempo of getting them out sooner than later so that they can get that early intel. And, what nice intel to get. They see the Earth Spirit drop that Obs ward in the mid lane. They quickly get rid of it. So already 100 gold coming the way to the benefit of Ake on this one. And, every support loves to have the extra early income if it means getting those extra wards sooner, or maybe even a pair of boots that much sooner. And now they're not going to have to worry too much about the vision department there in the mid lane. It looks like Miposhka is going to be holding another ward to work with here. But for the rest of Empire, they will claim up this bottom rune, and that will leave Alliance with the top one for what looks like, not Loda, but EGM. EGM's going to take that one up. I guess S4 will just do his own block, and he will actually pass on the first bounty of the game.
This is, so far, we talk about it a lot, actually, during the games yesterday, where these moments matter a lot. And King R, thinking that they placed a ward there, not going to spot it out, but they probably did some research knowing that Alliance placed a ward over here yesterday, but instead they changed it here. Meanwhile, in the mid lane,
yeah, swing and a miss from Miposhka here. Regardless of how tanky this DK is or not, Empire have 3 floating around this mid lane. Obviously, the line, as you mentioned, was kind of doing some ward business, but they're trying their best to kind of pressure S4. Well, Alliance are dishing out an aggro lane here, looking to go for Ramses in the top lane. They lead in nicely. Look at the body block action with the Blade Fury. Thunder Strike on top of it. They need a bit more. Oh, one more right click would have done it. But Alliance really made the most of that small window while they could. So that's going to force Ramsey to really start chewing through the early regen. Already seeing a salve. Mid lane, another rolling boulder on for S4. And, he'll get a few smacks in and he'll force S4 back. But I don't feel like this is going to be anything too devastating.
Yeah, they need to immediately rotate down right now for Ramses. He's not going to get anything in this offlane. And that's where Alliance is just going to punish this greedy Lycan pick. And it's nice to see them rotating the lanes because I could see them easily getting stomped in all of their lanes where, sometimes the Darkseer can outplay you at times and giving Lycan free farm early on, it's not beneficial. So what they're doing is really smart, and this is going to help them mid-game unless they get picked off here.
Oh, here comes Empire for that rotation response, but it looks like Alliance are ready for it. Miposhka is going to be forced to step back to avoid the Blade Fury, and now they make their move for Ake, who could be in trouble. And it looks like he will be able to walk away from this one. No boots even necessary. Meanwhile, EGM and Miposhka trade blows. EGM is going to be forced out to the right. They'll make chase for him, create space in the lane, but they might be able to get the first blood with this one. Ooh, Fairy Fire keeps him alive, but it's going to be Miposhka who actually picks up the first blood bonus. This is wonderful if you're an Earth Spirit, because we know Earth Spirit is not one to farm. He typically is more on the lines of farming heroes at the start of the game so he can get that early boost to XP.
Yeah, that's Alliance playing a little bit too aggressive, and Loda kind of misplaying it a little, as well as EGM. Like, they kind of delta split there and went to the right with EGM instead of kind of going back to his team, and then Loda spun too soon. Like, they weren't able to... He could have had one or... Ooh. What?
Huh?
No, I heard some sound. It was
that
like...
was my chair. I like squeaked
okay.
it. My mic picked it up.
Like,
sorry.
No.
I moved my foot and the chair farted, apparently.
Yeah, it was a nice blast there, Cotto.
Yeah, Cotto blast, so. But mid lane, as far as the matchup goes, typically DK matches up pretty good against Puck on paper here. Their CS kind of reflects that. They're breaking even, which looks good for S4. Obviously, he's very knowledgeable about the matchup against the Puck, and he's doing his best to hold his own. He still has a salve and a shared tango, so, you know, obviously even with that early pressure from the Earth Spirit, hasn't had to worry about kind of healing up too much, thanks to the benefit, of course, of that Dragon's Blood. Well, bottom lane, Miposhka, swing and a miss, trying to make a go for Bulldog on the Doom. Bulldog, king of CS on this game, or was king of CS at that moment. 22-1 for him, Ryu. He's already level 5.5. This Doom is going to come online pretty early.
I'm curious how Afterlife is doing so bad in this solo offlane against Bulldog. Meanwhile, in the top lane, making a dive. EGM still not having... Well, EGM does have boots, but no wind lace to help him out. And they're just going to go for the tower. Put a lot of damage on it.
Definitely drawing the attention away. It still makes Ramses pretty damn uncomfortable in the lane. Oop, Rift popped as Puck will be able to snag up the bounty rune. Mid laners trading blows at the top of the river. Scandal's going to make the long jump away from his orb and will not be able to re-engage S4 as reinforcements are on the way here. But Scandal's still a bit out of position. Thunder Strike comes out from Aki, but his glimpse is only level 1 and the range will not be there. Meanwhile, top lane, they're going to have a rolling boulder up and above to go for EGM. Jerry's in trouble. Jerry's dead. Afterlife is going to get the kill. Thanks to the Iron Shell. I got thrown off because Afterlife is hanging out in the bottom lane, but that Iron Shell all the way up at the top lane is going to get the last hit.
That's nice for this Darks here. He needs some help too, because of... I'm very curious to see. I want to kind of watch this game again. Like, how does Bulldog have 29 CS compared to just 16 on the Darks here? Because the supports have been top the whole time. That is... I'm just not sure how that's happening. Bulldog has... What creep? He has...
I was going to say, did he have some epic creep at the time? Like a satyr to shockwave the hell of this Darkseer out of the lane?
Just him the whole time with an Alpha Wolf, but no, that's not it. He's just having a troll. Unless he... you know, ate it recently, so I guess we don't know right now. But
yeah, very
really
peculiar.
The Bulldog, you know, showing us like, hey man, he's the star on this team right now.
Really is feeling like that, and he'll continue this trend. He's now level 6.5. The Doom is online if Alliance would like to make some use out of it here, but there doesn't seem to be really any lane they need to put a whole lot of, you know, high priority in. I mean, Alliance got to feel pretty comfortable with the laning stage as it is. Loda's at 3rd in CS at 28 and 10 denies. Ramsey's still struggling a bit. He's at 17 and 3 in what he was hoping to be like, you know, a typical safe lane matchup. Puck still holding pretty well in the matchup against S4 at 36 to S4's 30 CS. But really, now with the level 6s coming online, this is where the game can begin to tip in one way or the other. Is how they're going to be able to use like this coil, this Doom, maybe this first Dragon form. We'll see what team is going to be able to, you know, make the most out of this level 6 period.
Yeah, because most of the early game is just a little bit of positioning errors coming in from Alliance, giving 2 kills, whereas they're winning all the lanes by a heavy margin in the CS department.
Yeah.
So it's that. They're not going to be
mid-lane
happy.
is where the jump is going to happen for S4. That's going to be the coil. Miposhka does land the rolling boulder. Help is on the way from Alliance, but it's going to be coming too late. They even set up a nice boulder smash for Bulldog as he shows up, and they're thinking about making a jump on for him, but they will reserve their judgment, and they will hold off and be very satisfied with just the one-man takedown on S4 with that coil commitment.
Nice TP and rotation. I think they even needed the Darkseer there too, because he had raindrops on S4. He's like super tanky.
Yeah.
And he only has 1 into the Dragon Blood right now too. And that's going to show you how much they need to commit for this 4 heroes to bring him down. And I'm curious to see action on the top lane, how this is going to work out, because Loda is level 6, so is Ramses. And are they gonna, try to make a play on him, or no? Just gonna rotate bottom lane here.
Yeah,
For
Ake's
Loda.
already here. They're looking for a possible setup. They see Miposhka. He's waiting for the glimpse, but it's not even necessary. Loda steps in with that first Omni Slash and will shred apart the Earthman.
Radiant's bottom tower
And
is under
Alliance will
attack.
finally get themselves on the board. That's just their first kill of the game. Even though, of course, the CS in all these lanes are going very nicely their way. It looks like they are going to start sharing up the farm value a bit, even baiting out EGM in this top lane a little bit. Bulldog had been waiting behind him in hopes that maybe he could put this first Doom to use. He has a Shockwave in his pocket to work with here, so we'll see how long they want to wait. It is going to be nice for EGM to kind of get a little bit of that solo XP, though, because getting to level 6 is going to be a huge benefit for this Rubik. I guess a Tome will be ready for him in 2 minutes if it's necessary.
And let's see what he can steal this game. Not too many things. Anything of Lion is going to be good. Even the manager. No.
Bulldog's trapped, by the way.
Oh,
he is
Bulldog.
trapped. The Wolves came in and spotted him, and now he is stuck between 3 as King R and Ramses both show their face. Really nicely done from Empire on that one.
Nice vision. Nice vision. I think it was spotted his rotation coming in from this ward thing.
Oh, hold that thought, Ryu. Bottom lane as Miposhka tries to rolling boulder away. Aki's going to be there with the glimpse. Blade Fury, not going to be enough.
Nice.
Good heads up
Radiant's
TP there
top
for
tower is
Miposhka.
under
Gets him back
attack.
to the safety of his fountain.
But meanwhile, S4 putting pressure on the mid lane. It's half HP tower now, but Dragon Form should be down in about 20 seconds here. So this is, I don't know if S4 can put any more pressure on the mid tower, and that's what they need to do. Pressure every single time his ulti is online, and they can put pressure on the bottom lane too with Juggernaut if they have a good creep wave, healing ward drop, and they can pressure. So that's the thing with not having the safe lane Juggernaut. You could have potentially pushed down the tower early on, but the same thing could be said for Empire. Like they could have pushed really fast too because they have the Lycan, the Howl. So it's like a trade-off. But now in this mid game, gonna have Juggernaut picking up drums. So he's going for that super, not all in right now because he can still go back for the Battle Fury and farm up. But this is just to help his team out, constantly move faster, get in there, get out if they need to, and they're gonna need it because S4 right now. What is he gonna go like early? Is he gonna still go for that armlet build? Is he gonna tank up more, or is he gonna give a lot more respect to this heavy amount of magic burst damage coming in from Empire? I'm not saying going for like pipe or anything. It's good Dakota, but it could be nice.
It's Alliance. In some cases, for a lot of teams, they see a lineup like what Empire have, who have to kind of play against the clock a bit to kind of get the ball rolling. And for other teams like Virtus Pro or Na'Vi, who are a lot more aggressive, they might look to push and take down tier 1s and restrict the farm available for this Lycan before he even has the chance to be a problem. But for Alliance, they might take it slower. Top lane, they made a move for EGM. They blow him the hell up. Not even much effort on that one with the rotation power coming in. Miposhka on this Earth Spirit is putting in a lot of mileage to get across these lanes for setup. Now they're looking for Scandal. Thunderstrike has the vision. Ake's waiting if a glimpse is necessary, but it might not be. They move in. They get the Doom off. The first one of the game. We'll get the finish for Scandal. Miposhka TPs, heads to the top lane, but he gets glimpsed right back to the low ground, and there's a Blade Fury waiting for him. Loda will slice him right up, and Alliance will quickly string together 2 kills on the back end of a gank for EGM.
Yep, nice rotation coming in from Bulldog, getting off that Doom onto the puck, and then now they're going to transition into a tower kill. It looks like they are pinging. They want to defend here, but without Lycan ulti, Darkseer doesn't have a mech yet, but they do have Finger. They just acquired that for King R. Oh, the Wolves. This is sneaky play.
Wolves with Ion Shell. They're making a hustle for the tower right now, and, well, the Glyph will stop it in the meantime, but here comes the response. Can they catch him off? Scandal's going to get surged up as he looks for the coil. They might have to settle with Bulldog, who's trying to maybe deter their attention, but Loda steps in, spins. He doesn't have mana for an Omni Slash. Stagstorm, big one going to be dropped from Ake on this one, and a wall going to be committed. A 1-for-1 trade, and now Loda is going to be forced to step back. Still holds that Omni Slash if necessary. Empire continue to move forward. EGM turns back, will steal the Earth Spike. Very nice grab for a Rubik with that instant cast, and plus you have the telekinesis to set it up. Empire are not going to push their luck, and will pull off with that one. It looks like it's going to be a split apiece, but that's 2 times now, Ryu, that Scandal's been taken down.
Oh, they missed the boulder.
Oh, nice stun. S4 will take that invis and start chasing down Miposhka a bit, holding it inside his bottle. Oh, that Wolf Ion Shell, double Ion Shell Wolf power, going to be taking down Ake with the silent setup coming out from Miposhka, but now Ramsey's in trouble. Blade Fury flying through from Loda. He has nowhere to run. EGM's going to throw him right up and back down, but he's got the speed of the Surge to make it back and away. Meanwhile, Afterlife will get the finish on EGM. Can Loda get Ramsey's? He's trying for it, turning the corner. TP comes in from Scandal, and he goes all the way through the trees, and he will do-si-do and right into a Blue Fire coming out from S4. Good cleanup coming in from Alliance, and now they're going to be looking for more as they try to get Afterlife while they look for Loda on the low ground. Can we see both? Loda goes down. They move up and above to get Afterlife here. He vacuums the trees, and he finally will get dropped from Bulldog. Now, back and below, it's Ake who could be in trouble after being taken down from the Wolves. He dies again by the new coil setup of Scandal. Now comes Bulldog and S4 as they try to make their move for Scandal. They got a Doom, and they hit him up with the Infernal Blade. Boulder Smash will miss its mark, and I think Scandal will be going down. Sure enough, he will. Breathe Fire is going to be enough to burst him apart. Bulldog actually gets the last hit. My goodness, a very long-winded skirmish. We see what? Ake go down twice in that one. Loda ends up dropping. It's hard to really gauge how many lose on each side. It almost feels like a 4-for-4 trade at the end of the day, but based on the net we're swing, Alliance are getting the better end of it.
Yeah, they just get the better end of all these trades normally because they're putting pressure on towers, and yeah, see, this mid tower is going to have to be denied. Nope, not going to work. And they're putting a lot of pressure on the map, and that's hurting the Empire lineup. They want to be pressuring around the map. They want to get kills and transition that to Roche. But because Alliance are constantly pressuring and they're on the back foot, Alliance are doing a really good job, and Empire can't seize any map control right now. The bottom lane here, the Wolf shenanigans, once again, this is the best thing I've ever seen.
Double Ion Shell. Loda's like, wait, what? Suddenly I lost half of my life. A wall going to be committed, and now he's dead. Oh, this is just filthy. Absolutely filthy.
This has never been done before, too. I promise you, in all of the games that I watched, Lycan and a Darkseer played together, I've seen maybe 1 Ion Shell on a Wolf.
I would say it's been theory crafted. Like, everyone jokes about it, like, oh, the potential's there. You could do that the same way a lot of people joke, like, oh, Bounty Hunter Darkseer. Oh, you know, it's got that cheese factor to it. But yeah, most teams don't even bother with the cheese factor. Empire, though, they're pretty cheesy.
Movement speed on a Wolf. It's like, what the?
Yeah, and especially, this is probably the best it's going to get in the game. You know, level 4 Ion Shell. The Wolves are also leveled up all the way to max, and you know, this is when Alliance could be at their weakest from that Ion Shell. But look at this. They're making a move forward. EGM sets things up with the telekinesis pullback. Those Wolves still hustling about. Ake's going to drop the sentry, though, to scout it out. Waits for the glimpse. Omni Slash flies through. Not very effective, but they got a Static Storm there. Ake, though, being bursted apart. There's going to be the Rift, and they'll get the last hit in. Meanwhile, on the other side, Boulder Smash from Miposhka will slow things down. Alliance are going to be the only one to lose a target here.
Can't get one S4, spam it. There we go.
And it looks like S4 will be able to kind of get back towards where the tower was. Good sidestep, avoids the rolling boulder, but he is far from safety. Not going to be able to dodge the the boulder smash on that one. Even a magnetize is going to be committed from Miposhka, but very good overall from Empire. They take down 2, and the rest of Alliance are going to have to evacuate. Bulldog, of course, not getting involved with this one. He had been split pushing and farming the top lane. He is, you know, got the highest net worth and is already level 11, but you know, Empire have that lineup where they're looking to ramp it up sooner than later, and they're already pushing for a tier 2.
Yep, that's just a really good fight, and they understand like the positioning thing. They use everything on the Darkseer, and he didn't even die really until the very end with Loda have. Oh,
Alliance want to respond here. The tower will go down, not be denied. Ake, he's waiting. He's got a level 4 glimpse, and they surge for as if they wanted to posture up on something, but it looks like Empire are going to be the wiser. They step back, and they will evacuate the bottom lane, it looks like.
Oh, that's sad. He put a sentry down to kill the Wolf, and then he got the ward. That's very unfortunate. But that was a smart play coming in from Ake, else he would have died to the Wolf. Oh my goodness.
So frustrating. Oh, nice little glimpse here. S4. Oh, no! I guess he tried to get the stun from the low ground, but it wasn't really there, and even a static storm going to be committed for that. Scandal walks away really unscratched, and now Alliance are going to be down in ulti.
Yep, it was 20 seconds left for the Elder Dragon from S4, as well as 2 seconds left on the Blink Dagger, so he couldn't blink up and stun him immediately, and that's why they didn't get the kill there. Good reaction coming in from Scandal, and we haven't been able to talk too much about the item progression because there's so much action going on, but this is what Bulldog is doing, right? He's going for the pipe for the team as well as the mech, and that's something we talked about during the drift, like where are they going to get their mech from? Alliance. I'm glad Bulldog went for the mana boots. He went for the mech already, and he's going into the pipe now, so S4 can play that initiator role, and maybe I would like to see S4 have an armlet instead, but he's trying to initiate for his team since nobody else can really do that. So I can understand why he wants to go for the Blink Dagger, and it makes perfect sense here.
He uses that Blink, and Empire quickly roll out. Will not be caught up, but they still want more. Surging on in, Ramsey is going to be forced to go into wolf form here. Boulder Smash creates the space, and this could be a dragon form badly used. A Glimpse tries to help it up. And, you know, Alliance with this are just going to maybe just instead pressure the top lane to go for the tier 2, or somehow, some way make the most out of this dragon form, but nonetheless, Alliance coming up short another time in a gank. And when they see that, Empire, like, you know what? Let's go and let's find something for ourselves. They smoke up. They have ults to work with. You got the, you know, obviously Coil there for Scandal. Magnetized with 6 Stone Remnants ready to go and a Finger. So Alliance better be careful. And, ooh, as I say that, Blink Vacuum from Afterlife, but that will be the end of it.
It's just like, I'm scaring you. I'm scaring you. That's like when you pop your BKBs at times, but he doesn't have one yet for S4.
Yeah.
It's looking really good for Empire right now, just because they're going to be able to pressure now this top lane. What is the cooldown of Lycan ulti? 30 seconds, but they still have the vacuum wall combo with the Blink Dagger from Afterlife. This is super scary now for Alliance. And you saw that kick last time. It was the perfect kick coming in from Miposhka. It cut off EGM from actually getting there. And that's how strong Boulder Smash is. It's not about setting up aggressive plays. It's more so about the defensive plays too. It's just amazing how it, like, you always see people like group up as 3 or 4 when they're chasing, and then that's when the Earth Spirit just always lands. I feel like when I watch it, it's just like he always lands, you know, 2, 3, you know, Boulder Smashes in games.
Yep. Those are the times when the speed is kind of irrelevant, whether it be, you know, faster or slower. In those choke points, when you're looking for a defensive way out, it almost acts as a fissure. But the nice thing is you don't have to, like, fissure appropriately so that your teammate can walk out from the fissure into safety. You don't have to worry about that. You just kick it down that choke point, and you have a pretty damn strong chance that you're going to stun the whole enemy team, and you're going to be able to make it away to safety. So, you know, there are still those great elements that Earth Spirit brings to the table that really no other hero can do, and it's part of the reason we'll probably still see Earth Spirit relevant in the meta. He's probably not going to be the first ban, first pick all the time, but he still is like that Swiss Army knife of a support where he just has so much going for him. But Ramses heads right to the high ground and into trouble, but Scandal picks up the pieces and jumps in with a nice coil in the back lines. Vacuum wall follow from Afterlife here, but no one to hit the deck yet. S4 hiding and ducking right under the wall here. Miposh going to be committing the Magnetize, drops a couple of stones to refresh it a bit, and it looks like the first one to go down is going to be Bulldog here. They are going to be losing their Lion. EGM going to be taken down from Scandal, and now Ramsey's going on the hunt with the Ion Shell. Is going to be glimpsed back and away from Aki, and it looks like we are going to have a little bit of a reset here. It turns into a 2-for-1 trade. That could have been disaster for Empire. I don't even know if Alliance were ready for it, but they just came right up to their doorstep.
Oh yeah, that was Scandal making the worst possible situation into something really good.
Oh yeah.
They got the Doom off after he already used his combo though. Oh, they got, oh, that was close. Nice vacuum attempt there, but Ake almost got chipped by that.
Ake is in trouble. He's down. Scandal will find him. And the Disruptor will be taken care of. Silence pull comes from Miposhka for S4. They have the stun follow-up, but Scandal will eat a little bit of Blade Fury damage and be able to jump up and above and away from trouble. Alliance, though, do their part by making sure Empire can't proceed with doing the Roche, and we'll be able to kind of stall that a bit.
Whew. Tense situations all around, and that could have been you know, the opening for either team to, you know, finish Roche. I could still see Alliance, if they get a team wipe there, they immediately go to the Roche pit and they get it. And then if Empire do it, I think it's more important for Empire this game to get that, and then they can take down all these tier 1s that are still left, all the tier 2s, and then they're going to be able to do it better. Whereas Alliance, they feel like they need to deny it, and they're kind of feeling pressured. They're in the bottom lane right now, and they're just like, we need to make sure that Empire do not get Roche.
King R on this line, also doing the rush for the Ether Lens over the Blink. I don't know, I feel like Lion's one of those heroes that benefits so much more from the Blink. I mean, at this time in the game, you don't have to worry too much about BKBs. BKBs are just starting to be built up, but the Blink is what allows you to really get that, you know, insta initiation where you're not even going to be able to pop the magic immunity there. Nonetheless, it really adds to your range and to your finger and allows you to burst from afar when you're trying to stay out from the trouble of being, you know, stunned or doomed or lifted or even hit by the jug, let's say. So King R at least trying his best to enhance his initiation range a bit and his overall, you know, magic amplification. And this looks like the time where Empire are going to be making a go for the Roche. Meanwhile, Miposhka will kind of create the space. Oh, nice glimpse from Ake. He's got the vision from the Thunderstrike and will send Miposhka right back into their lap. Miposhka is just going to say, well, space created because my team's doing the Roche right now. We'll see if Alliance can beeline it that way to contest it, but it looks like Ramsey should be able to get away with this one with the help of the book.
They have the ward scouting out, Loda rotating over, but yeah, it's a little bit too late. And
Loda's waiting. He's got level 2 Omni. He thinks he can make a move in, but he gets hexed up right away from King R. That Ether range, vacuum wall combo. Static Storm will be kind of laid down from Ake to try to defuse the situation a bit, but Hell does break out. Bulldog looks to make a go for Scandal, who's doomed up with the Thunderstrike, and with the, you know, blade attack, it looks like he will be dropped. No deny will be there. Stun from King R on the high ground, and Empire are looking to get the hell out with as little casualties as possible, but it looks like King R will also be taken apart. It's going to be a 2-for-0 trade at the cost of Empire being able to get that Roche and Aegis. So Alliance will try to follow it up with a +1 on this tier 1 in the bottom lane, and we'll get a lot from it because Empire was at a 5k net worth advantage. This will probably cut that in half.
Yep, and they can still pressure the tier 2 with Puck still being dead. Needs to be a little bit careful though if they did want to fight, but they have vision of where Afterlife is. He's just farming. They have vision of Ramsey's farming the top lane. They could have pressured the tier 2, but they don't have the creep wave sadly. So, and they're gonna have to go back, defend, and that's still a good team fight coming in from Alliance. They need to find a way to kill Ramses though before he has his Aegis right now, because next I feel like they're just gonna try and go around the map for Empire now and siege these towers with this Aegis. So, but that was a nice gank set up by Alliance where it could have been very bad if Ake plus Bulldog, you know, didn't have the 1-2 combo there. Doom plus the glimpse back. That is just, how do you run from that? You just can't.
Yeah, they definitely have the setup potential, and they will make the most out of catching any stragglers from trying to make it away here. But I do agree with you. This is Empire's time now to move forward. They might wait for Ramsey's next item. He already is holding a pretty good purse of gold at about 2,600. But as you mentioned, they have the Aegis now. He has his book 3, and they're probably going to look to just rid of this remaining tier 1 tower in the mid lane. Will Alliance respond with anything? They are waiting back in the wings as if they do want to make something out of this. But Ramses will get the tower. And Alliance maybe will just hope that if Empire move forward, they could be caught out of position here. Actually, a smoke back and potential wraparound play here from Alliance. Let's see what they can find.
The problem is if they go on Lycan... Problem is if they go on Lycan right now, they have to blow one of the ultis. Either Ake's or Bulldogs.
Yeah. And Empire are definitely dangling out Ramsey's way in the front. Scandal actually spots out S4, goes for the coil, but he gets doomed up right away and quickly possibly bursted down. Nope, Breathe not going to be enough. Beautiful Stag Storm, by the way, from Ake on that choke point. Causes absolute chaos for Empire as they lose 3. Afterlife will have to surge and just run the hell out of there. Ramses will live with his Aegis and will be TPing back to the top lane, so they will have the benefit of the extra life, but eventually they do catch up with the Afterlife Darkseer, and that will put a gem on the deck, and uh-oh, it leaves it on the high ground, actually. That's a bit awkward, so someone's going to have to get up there with a blink or something and pull it down, but nonetheless a big win for Alliance, and they actually tie the kill score now, 16 to
Dire's
16.
middle tower is under
They're just
attack.
baiting. Courier kill. They're gonna get it. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Dude, it's the courier fight we've all been waiting for.
Oh my God! It's a highway pursuit. Both couriers making chase. Ake's running for it. They want it. They need one more auto attack. Can they get it? They got it. Oh, was it worth it, Empire? It was not. Trying to be sneaky and snag that gem back in their possession, but they end up now losing their courier. We'll hand over a nice little extra bit of gold to Alliance.
Yeah, and that was pretty funny to watch.
Don't see that every day, that's for sure.
That made my day. I mean, I don't care about the rest of the games anymore. Just end it now and I'll be happy. But in all seriousness, that was one of the timings where Alliance is just superior. They got the Doom out on the puck perfectly, and Scandal was like, oh crap, I just wasted my coil on a BKB Dragonite. That's the first unveiling of that BKB. So Alliance are going to handily win that team fight. So now they have to go back and think, okay, Empire, we actually have to catch out Ake. Like, the only way they're going to win team fights now is catching out maybe one, if not both of these supports for Alliance, because I don't think they can burst down the Doom. Maybe they can burn all of his mana from the Lycan and maybe burst him down with Lion's Finger and everything, but it's going to be really hard taking down Bulldog because of all of the things he has. Crimson Guard he's working
He's
on.
a machine right now. He is a walking utility machine. He's already got what you had mentioned, the pipe, the mech, now building up that Crimson Guard. You know, it helps certainly with all those crazy summon units that especially the Lycan brings with the power of the Howl. And this will create so much durability, not just for himself, but for the rest of his team, that it's going to be that much harder for Empire to really burst through it with just their, sheer horsepower. It was something that they certainly had in the early part of the game when, like, double Ion Shell was doing a lot of damage. But now those elements, like your Finger, like your Magnetize, your first coil drop, those don't seem really as hard-hitting as they used to be. And we'll just have to see where the backup, firepower is going to be coming from here in Empire's side.
It's more so they have to have a good combo play with the Darkseer vacuum. Oh, S4. What? That is some nice reaction time coming in from Scandal. But Dragon wasted.
S4 pings right on top of him. Blinks right there. We check his vision. He can't see him, and he'll have to settle for it and TP out as the pressure is coming from the bottom lane. But, yeah, good reaction from Scandal. Gets him away from any sort of trouble, and Empire will lose their Aegis without being able to put much use to it, so we'll have to see if Empire want to try to make a go for any of these Tier 2 towers without the benefit of their extra life, or be forced now to kind of stall things out for the next Roche before they can go back on their objective path, if you will.
Yeah, Alliance could be happy right now if they just farm and don't get picked off around the map.
Yeah.
And then they contest the next Roche. Whereas Empire, their lineup still... Maybe they want to wait for one more item for Ramses. They especially want to wait for Roche and give that to probably Puck next time, because, or I guess Ramses is still a good candidate, so he can actually siege and hope that they use all of their spells on him to kill him. But they're gonna need to have the Puck soon having his Lincolns. This is gonna help out a lot. I was thinking if he's gonna go for Lincolns or Sheepstick, and Lincolns is just. He needs to go that this game because Bulldog has had his number the whole time.
Every fight, it seems like Bulldog is just out for Scandal to make sure that this Puck just can't be a problem, and now it forces Scandal to defensively itemize. I mean, I would think Bulldog, that should be a grinning moment for him, so he's definitely doing his part. His Crimson Guard's now complete. He's easily going to be the new gem candidate to be as tanky as hell. He even has the Ice Ogre Ice Armor now working with, so... He's just a walking beast, and Empire really are going to have to grind out the farm as much as they can to try to be able to break this tough shell of Alliance, because this is, as the clock goes on, it always seems to be that's what Alliance's, game plan always favors. They're a team that loves to slow play things and, are not big on pulling in huge kill scores and more of just kind of going for the W at anything's necessary.
And what will be necessary is a smoke gank.
Is under attack.
They're gonna try and find. They have a ward scouting out where. No, that was just load of farming, but they're just trying to go behind the tower. Do they have any wards to set up too? No, they don't have any extra wards to set up.
Empire pretty in the dark as far as vision in their own jungle front. So it looks like their best approach is to make a smoke play here. That if Alliance have any sort of aggressive vision, they will be able to make their move, but there it is. Ramsey's going to pop the shapeshift, and now they hustle forward. BKB's going to be popping both sides. Scandal is going to get stunned up right away. Bulldog not going to be able to get there for the Doom. He's stuck under now, but they have a Stag Storm to kind of relieve the choke point here. They quickly take down Loda, and they're going to get the follow-up for Ake. Ramsey's just a big bad wolf, chomping them all apart, and now Afterlife going to be hustled up to the north. They can't get the finish. They turn back for Bulldog, silenced up, almost bursted down. They use the finger and everything they can. It's going to be a triple kill for Ramses on this one. The gem will trade hands once again, and now Empire looking to make it a 4-man takedown. Ultra kill for Ramses. Can they get EGM and stop him for the 5-man wipe? No! Almost a rampage there, but it looks like EGM will be able to make it away. Huge fight for Empire, and it just starts with them smoking and running right at them head on.
Oh yeah, that was really nicely played coming in for Empire. They just like took him by storm, and the best part about that was they killed Loda before he got anything off during the team fight. Else it could have been a disaster for Empire, but they managed to chase him down, silence him completely. The Wolfman, king of the roost there. And now they're being able to pressure around the map, get this tier 2 tower. EGM is playing with fire right now. And a thing to note is Scandal had really nice uses of the Scythe device during that team fight. He decides to go for that. He wants to play super aggressive this game. He doesn't care if you do me. He doesn't care.
I guess they just realize they can't afford to kind of get a defensive item and then wait for maybe something to be offensive. They need to kind of be on this go, go, go. And yeah, as you saw, a lot of credit for that Sheepstick was able to get Empire the nod in that trade, and they need that for, you know, the timing that they kind of put together with this draft. So now we'll see how much they can get from it. They move forward, they get to tier 2. Roche, I imagine, is on their agenda here soon, but they're going to have to make sure they clear out this Alliance woods. Alliance think that Empire are going right for the Roche, so they already head that way. And now we could see a bit of an awkward situation. Both teams in the same neighborhood here, but it looks like Empire are going to be heading their way out.
They need to make sure that Alliance doesn't sneak the Roche from them, because it will take them a longer time to do it than Empire could, but they can still do it. And they need to make sure. Let's look right now. I think the most important thing right now is going to be vision and smokes. So we have. Do we have any smokes on the courier?
Someone's got a smoke here, right? They're gathering up like they have one. Who's got the good stuff? No one has the purple stuff, it looks like here. So, a bit awkward for Empire at the moment. Oh, did they go back for it? Nope, they just have wards.
It's just 1 minute left on their smoke, and then I don't think Alliance have one either. Both teams have a minute left on their smoke, so.
So for Empire, do you think it's use a smoke, try to take a team fight that you can win, and then fall back for the Roche, or is it get this Roche ASAP with the smoke?
I think what they did before is like having the superior initiation, because they were able to get off the Lycan ulti. He was able to cast everything. They got a nice vacuum wall combination before. So if they can smoke up and jump Alliance first, I think they'll do fine in these engagements. But it's kind of a tough decision to say, because they have vision. Both teams have vision of where the enemy are right now. This ward is kind of scouting out where, like, all these wards are scouting out where Alliance are rotating right now, and this ward is scouting out Empire, kind of sneaking into the Roche pit. So
yeah, Alliance are going to go for the classic trade here, but this tier 2 is actually already down, so Alliance are going to be able to pressure high ground, Ryu. I mean, Empire are making it go for the Roche. It's at a third of its life, but Alliance are already knocking at the top door here of Empire. Already a rotation back, and look at that. They're going to be able to glimpse them right back to the fountain. Earth Spirit will not be here to defend. And Alliance make their go for the tier 3. Roche goes down. They'll see it. But now comes the rest of Empire here. They might have to sack that tier 3. And a jump in from S4. He goes right for King R, and they're going to blow him up. He's going to be forced to buy back. A jump in from Afterlife with the vacuum wall. Bulldog looks to move forward. He is not committing the Doom yet. They step back in a way, and Alliance, I guess they're going to be pretty happy with that. They get the tier 3, and they force out a buyback. Pretty good for them.
that's probably the best trade you can make as you know, the Radiant side too. You get 2 towers, a buyback for Aegis. You'll take that 9 times out of the 10. Now you just have to make sure that when Empire come knocking at your door, you're good. You have buybacks or on your course because you just acquired so much gold. You need to make sure that you don't spend all of it on your next item progression. Well, I say that S4 just did. So if S4 dies right now, the game could be over. So it needs to be very careful.
We'll see what Empire can do. Obviously, they still have that Aegis to work with here as they continue to kind of build up. A couple extra items here. Scandal now has about 2,600 on his puck, so we'll see if the Lincolns is something he wants to follow up with after already committing for that sheep stick or not. But Empire, whatever they pull together now, could be their last set of new items to be able to close this game out, and good timing for them. We see Afterlife is able to pick up his Shivas. That's a really nice grab to help out the durability of his team and kind of reduce the output DPS that Loda's going to be able to do. So Empire are making the most out of this situation, but as we get to like 40 minutes now, they do need to be pressured to kind of keep this pace going.
For sure. I think if this game goes another 30 minutes, the Alliance should have the edge. I guess you could say when it's going into the later game stages like that, they'll probably have so many initiators like Hex on Darkseer. Oh, I mean, hold that.
It was silence for the Loda illusion. Baited almost. Empire are going to be forced to use a shapeshift. It is only a minute cooldown. But Alliance obviously do avoid what could have been a scary situation there. And they will recognize that Empire are around. And now Alliance are going to be waiting in the high ground here, looking to defend their home. Empire, though, have already changed course, and they're going to get these lanes pushed forward a bit, it looks like, as Ramses will be heading up to the top lane. He doesn't have boots of travel or anything to be able to hop to and from a battle, so once he's out of the fight, you can bet your Empire are not going to be a part of it.
I'll bet my bet.
I wanted to say bet your bippy, but I don't even know if that makes sense.
Bippy. I thought you were going to say bet my butt. I was like, okay.
Bet your butt. And if I'm right, cut your butt off and send it over to BTS.
Jeez.
Yeah, we like butts. Butt the summit. So.
I mean, there's already, an ass man out there. I don't need to be. You don't need to have mine.
I'm not going to take your ass, so don't worry.
Oh, thank you.
Alright,
I'm safe.
Alliance,
this is
though, coming through the river now, so confidently striding down this mid lane. Knowing that Empire coming in from the north, they're going to try to creep in a tier 2 when they can before they have to step back and defend.
I think Alliance have to defend. Empire push way faster, especially with how AC completed. That's the thing. With S4 going for Mjolnir, they don't have an AC. They don't even have a Shiva's complete on their team. Could be a tipping point.
Here comes Ramses. He's happy to kind of go to work as the Demolition Man with that Aegis here. Goes into Shapeshift before his life is going to be used. S4 makes a quick jump and just blows up the Lion. You look for Miposhka next. Omni Slash follows him up to the high ground. Loda is deep in enemy territory. Ramses eats the most of that damage. Really unfortunate for him on the RNG. And Empire have to get the hell out of there while they can. They're going to try to hustle Ake forward to try to get any sort of glimpse off. Loda on to Scandal. Scandal will be able to sheep him up, but wow, real crazy stuff right there with that Omni Slash.
Oh yeah, that's... But you just see the problem though. Empire, they have no DPS for Alliance. It's just like, oh my goodness, how tanky are these heroes? You have Pipe, Mech, Crimson, we've talked about it enough. They just can't burst these tanky cores now at all. And it's all, you just see the problem with their lineup. It's too much magic damage burst reliant. But if they group up here without BKBs, this could be a disaster for Alliance. They need to be very careful.
Loda goes to work. He gets the Mjolnir from S4. They make quick work of the tier 3. And now Empire looking to catch him on the back. Afterlife jumps in, vacuum wall into 2. Loda quickly goes into his Blade Fury, but Ramses in his Shapeshift. Looks to move in. The coil been dropped and now snapped for Bulldog, but he's very, very tanky. And Empire just kind of not able to scratch the surface of Alliance here. That is a wall committed, and as you can see, a wall that was also stolen. Alliance can just regroup and go back for the push now. They don't have to worry about the vacuum wall high ground defense.
Nope. And they're just, this healing ward is doing tremendous amounts of work. All their spells have been top notch, and EGM's had this Ags for like 2-3 minutes. He keeps stealing everything and anything right now, so really well played from him. It's just putting on a show right now for us.
Scandal will try his best to veil and burst down the creep wave. One range creep, though, will make it in, and Loda begins to go to work. Very fast hits there to try to take down the range. S4 moves in. Dragonfork going to be pop pullback for Bulldog, but still no commitment on the ulti. Loda even has his Omni here. Very difficult situation for Empire to hold this one out for game number 1. The Magnetize is going to be committed now for Miposhka. There goes the Boulder Smash. Pull back under the kinetic field, but the Crimson Guard's going to be popped, and this is where Alliance are going to look to close things out. They make the move. Miposhka gets a lot of the damage, and now get glimpsed back into a Static Storm. Huge 5-man coil, but they'll just stand grouped and hold each other's hands to safety. Empire cannot do anything to just burst through the strong Iron Shell defense of Alliance here. But Empire will try their damnedest. They look to move forward. Burst there for S4. He gets glimmered up. They get the Doom out for Scandal now, and he's going to be forced to step back and get healed up. Empire trying their best. Boom! Big Finger flies out. EGM with the stolen Agnum's Finger. Just rocks Empire on that one. Not going to be enough to get enough burst. And Alliance will just have to step back with their winnings. Getting that one Rax here. But they are still on. They're still being chased. Ooh, Scandal almost gets the catch there for EGM, but EGM will be able to make it away. Ake, very convenient for him. He finds an Invis rune.
He got puck on Jim.
Oh, he does not pursue,
range.
though.
That reduced Jim range.
And that will be the end of it. Not good for Empire. Best case there for Empire would have been to obviously hold their racks and be able to pull out a strong defense, but without having that wall and all those tools that they spent earlier, it just makes it so damn difficult. Alliance can just survive for, the first 3 rounds of a fight, and at that point, Empire are just so tested. It just feels like they don't have anything left in the tank to try to be able to, kill the rest of Alliance.
I just don't know how they kill anyone. We just saw the problem. At this point, you kind of need to have Puck to have a Daedalus or something. I'm not even joking at this stage. They need some other physical DPS kind of carry in this situation. Maybe the answer is Darkseer having Ags or something.
Yeah, use their power against them.
You have to. That's... I don't know. I'm speechless right now. Alliance are heavy favorites right now, as long as they don't get picked off around the map. So even if Empire get another Roche, it's still very hard for them. And if Alliance get the next Roche, I think it's game over.
It ain't going to get any easier because now you're even seeing those supports. I mean, we already see EGM farmed out of his mind, but now even Ake sports 2k gold. He could start building up for an Ags, but that might not even be necessary. Maybe he should just get a Blink Dagger so he can just get those glimpses easier on the chase for people who were able to get away so fast, like your Miposhka, Rolling Boulder, like your Ramsey's move speed. But Alliance are not even going to let Empire try to go for this Roche now. This is a cheese Roche, too, so very important one. Oh! Back into the high ground from Afterlife. This will cause a bit of a stir for Alliance, though. Can Empire make the most out of this? They'll try. They send the orb on through. BKBs are going to be forced. Empire get the scraps that are left on the ground. Ake will hide under the glimmer, but it's not going to be good enough. Some of Alliance, including Bulldog, though, still trapped in the high ground. Loda will make it down. It looked like maybe he used the Manta to make it down, but now he's going to get bursted. He's out. Ramsey's with a double kill. S4 finds Afterlife, him and EGM. Both try to burst him down, but they're not going to be able to get it. And look at this. Best fight that Empire could ask for. By the way, Bulldog still trapped up on the high ground, has no TP down. Afterlife with a huge play here makes the most out of a scary game and a scary situation. And now
they can't even kill Bulldog at all.
Just leave him, I guess, and try to stop any courier from heading that way. Very awkward, but my God, what a time to seize the opportunity there from Afterlife.
Oh my goodness, Afterlife just carrying a game that looks unwinnable. And we're going to need to see more of that. Definitely going to see.
They go back for Bulldog, who still continues to wait there. And they'll try their best, man, but he's not making it easy. Pops his Crimson Guard. He's the raid boss here, waiting on the high ground. There's 2 Roches in this pit.
There's 4 people on top of him.
Look at this, finally. Oh, they can't kill him. Finally, he goes down. My God, that takes a lot of effort. Even Roche not happy about it. Starts stomping the ground, and Empire frantically look to finish it up. They've been gifted another life here. And, of course, all the thanks to Afterlife for that one. Huge play.
What a player. And now this helps them out tremendously just because they were able to get this, and they're denying it more so for Alliance, where if Alliance had that, like I was talking about, they were going to pretty much win the game from that situation on. And that's why you saw Alliance grouping up to go for even the Roche or fight around there, and then just that one play, you know, it's going to change the whole aspect of this game. And then now that's going to help King R maybe get, yeah, he's got his Blink Dagger. That was the thing that you talked about earlier that was holding him back. It's like, why did Lion go for an Aether Lens? I mean, the synergy with Darkseer plus Lion Blink Dagger is just tremendous. And now they have that to work with. Lycan has a heart now. He has his next item. And we are also seeing, you know, more hope now coming in from Scandal. He has something that goes through the BKB, the Ags. It'll force Alliance to at least stay where they are. And they're not going to be able to chase Empire in these situations, which that helps out tremendously for the Lycan whenever he wants to wail on somebody.
Yeah.
And
my God, if Empire can close this one out, you know, Afterlife to thank, but it's not over yet. Though they survive and they get the Roche, the tough task is still bringing down Alliance again to be able to make it into the high ground and really do the damage where it's necessary. You know, a great fight for them around the Roche pit, but they'll need a fight like that inside of the base of Alliance if they want to be able to close this game out.
for sure, it's going to be really hard for Empire to crack the base. We're going to have to see how they're going to do that. They might just have to constantly find picks around the map for Empire if they even want to go high ground. So it's not going to be easy going against, you know, this Rubik that's constantly stealing everything in his path. You have the disruptors. We talk about if you misstep once, he's just going to glimpse you back, and those retreats are going to be key for Empire, as we talk about, because Alliance, they're just going to keep running at you with their tanky cores. So we'll have to see how this next team fight works out for them. They have vision here. So Scandal had to replace his gem with the cheese, and they don't know that there's this ward on the hill.
Ake's making the move. They jump in for Scandal, but he quickly does sidestep it. Oh, but they roll back in. There's going to be the glimpse back. Two-man coil does connect. S4 also blinking into the action here, but he goes right into a stun. Now they look for Miposhka while Ramses comes up from the other side, looking to burst down Bulldog, the biggest and tankiest one of all, but he's actually doing some good damage here. Can he get the finish? He's looking for it. Meanwhile, Alliance, though, are closing out the two supports. They'll take them down, and now S4 is going to be looking for Afterlife. Ramsey's going to be out of his shapeshift, while S4 continues to go to town. Killing spree for him. They take down 3. It's a 3-for-2 trade. Now Loda making a move for Scandal, and he is getting popped from both cores. The cheese going to be popped. Gives him a second life, while Ramses will clean up Ake. But finally they catch up with Scandal. Beautiful blink stun connection from S4. And now both the cores will take on the one mighty core from Empire. It's a 2v1. But now the buybacks come out, and that's all Alliance wanted. They'll see this, and they'll try to run. Scandal makes the jump and can't go for Loda as the BKB will be there. Instead, they set the course for Gustav. Boulder Smash connects. Magnetized follow-up. Loda steps in. Man, he shreds apart Miposhka. Can they get S4 down, though? Scandal and Ramses go to work. They will be able to get it. Can they go for Loda? They're running around like they're trying to find him. That ends up being, what, a 4-for-5? No, 4-for-4, I guess, at the end of the day, with Ramsey still surviving the whole way through. The gem is down, by the way. I don't know if they saw it, but it's still going to remain on the deck. And
Scandal, he doesn't like your opinions. He doesn't want it. But that heavily favors Alliance there, because they're not capped yet on their heroes. Like the Juggernaut here, he can still eat the Moon Shard. He still needs, his probably next will be Abyssal. He'll have that item soon. They didn't have to force buybacks on their side, whereas Empire did. And that's them not using anything really with their Aegis, because it's going to time out in the next minute. So they're looking really good for Alliance once again, and we're going to have to, you know, still hope for a good miracle play coming in from Empire,
which they obviously found earlier. But ooh, hey, King R, cheeky little cancel of Bulldog's TP here, but has he bitten off more than he can chew? Well, he's got Ramses by his side, and before King R can follow up with another stun, Bulldog will be able to leap away here. So Ramses is going to be forced to use the shapeshift to kind of just farm with instead. And the game will proceed here. Now going into 50 minutes, this is like uncharted territory for most Lycan lineups, where Lycan's like the only true DPS core. So, you know, Empire's lineup are really being pushed to its limit, while Alliance can continue to still really thrive. They have more of a ceiling to work with. I mean, S4 is starting to string together some nice damage items. He already had that crit. Now he can get closer to finishing out the Daedalus. Loda had been near critical mass at this point, but now he suddenly has an item slot to work with after he eats his moon shard. So I don't know if like an Abyssal or something is in the future for him, or
he's
what,
going Scotty.
Scotty, okay,
Scotty.
so more stats, more survivability, and the slow certainly won't hurt. But he can continue to build up.
I'm not sure how I feel about that personally, because I feel they don't have any Lincolns on the side of Empire. So if you just blink in Abyssal somebody, Omni Slash them, they could be dead. And but at the other side of things, like you talked about, having more stats coming in with the Juggernaut, being able to slow constantly when you're chasing, that could be a very big deal. But personally, I feel Abyssal Blade is just better because you already have the Blink Dagger. You can lock somebody down with your Juggernaut, and I think it would help out more.
A smoke out from Empire here. Now, I saw Lycan with the Demon Edge, and I was like, ooh, maybe Rapier? Are they really feeling like it's at that point? It's that critical? But no, he does finish the MKB, and here's Empire looking to make another go. They need a big win here to stay alive. They were gifted that opportunity thanks to Afterlife. Can they make another opportunity happen? Oh, hi, okay. Quick silence, boulder smash through, and Loda jumps in, pops BKB, and the fight will break out. Omni Slash flies, Scandal eats a lot of it here, still survives. They tried their best to kind of mitigate it between the team. Now a Magnetize, a wall being committed. Good stun comes out from Miposhka here, but Empire might be forced to withdraw from this fight. Loda quits a quick catch and will quickly take care of King R. S4 not going to be able to spot out Miposhka, cannot stun him, and Empire will retreat. But Alliance are the ones who kind of look a bit better off. And now they just begin to shoot down this bottom lane. They'll take down the remaining outer tower from Empire, and I imagine begin their assault into the high ground. No wall to worry about. No big ultis. This might be Alliance's time to close out game one.
Oh yeah. And they're just going to split it up here. Loda going to go mid lane. This could be bad if Loda gets hexed and
he gets
burst it down.
Pulled back. No burst down though. And that burst down only comes from Ramses pretty much, so he's not in true fighting shape. He has his shapeshift now to work with. His BKB's back up. We'll need 30 seconds for that Necro Book though. Alliance, I guess they pull back and they hope for maybe a good Roche timing. We'll find out in a moment if it's going to be forgiving or not. But
take that as tribute.
It looks like we will be waiting
about
out.
Alliance Roche after what we saw earlier? No, but
yeah, they will definitely you know, make sure they have a ward down and no crazy Darkseer play is going to come. But I am curious to see. Okay, it's actually going to be a pretty long timer for the benefit of Empire, I guess. Or not, if they were able to get down there and try to take it behind the back of Alliance. But here we go. We're going into the long game, Ryu. We're about to reach the 1 hour mark for just our first game of the day. You know, it's a high-tension match, though. This is our first elimination match of the European qualifier. Loser of the series is down and out of the Summit 5 run, so very important.
Yep, it's just a little concerning right now that Alliance is not able to close out the game, considering how well their lineup is scaling into this later game. And it's just going to show you that, yeah, Empire, with amazing plays, can potentially still win this game. So it's nice to see, like you're talking about, we're still, anybody can win this, but Alliance is still heavily favored. And they're making a smoke play here. So we'll have to see who they're going to scout out. Roche has not spawned yet, the high ground. They are scouting out with the wolves, so this is nice. Could catch out Ramses.
Ramses got to be careful. He comes up to the side shop, out of position. This game could be over before this last fight even can really begin. But Empire will shift off to the side. Ooh, orb. Alliance are still under the smoke. Smoke will expire now. Are they thinking about making a flank play? They drop the ward. They'll see them there as Empire do approach. They'll see the shapeshift. They step back to reposition. BKB, Blade Fury both going to be popped as they make their move for Scandal. Can they burst them down? The puck going to be forced away. And now we'll look to sidestep here. Finger does fly out, and he will end up going down. He does get the coil. Magnetized flies. Empire's last life here. Tries to make a go, but it's not going to be comfortable. Ramsey's shapeshift will conclude. They pull back the wolf, and they might skin him. Big vacuum wall, though. The magnetize does continue, but my God, Alliance are durable. Ake even still alive on this one with the help of the Glimmer Cape, but Loda will be able to get the finish there. Moving in for the darts here. King R will also go down. Miposhka should be next, and that leaves only Ramses alive to defend. I think Alliance might have finally just done it.
Was my GG. That was just amazing play coming in from Alliance. Bulldog pretty much sealing this game up with that Doom onto Afterlife, and then he bought back, and then everyone was dead already. Scandal doesn't have his buyback. Well, actually, he kind of did have his buyback, but I think he was just watching. I don't know. But needless to say, they just didn't have enough physical DPS to burst down these 3 cores. Well drafted from Alliance, understanding that they could go into this later game situation and win it. So that's the thing. Once they held on, they were able to win it. So congrats to them. And what a game to start off the day, Dakota.
Really was a nice game to start out the day, but Alliance did have to work for it. I love the plays coming out from Empire, but, you know, of course, pigeonholing yourself into, like, that Lycan lineup where he is the one true DPS. And, you know, props to Ramses. He made the most out of a game. For a game that he lost, 14-1-8, very impressive. Again, shouts to Afterlife with that clutch vacuum play at the Roche Pit to help him, you know, try to prolong the game, but ultimately, it's Alliance who have the better late-game composition, and they are going to be the team who will succeed. But it is a best-of-3, folks, so we'll conclude game number 1. That's Ryuuboruzz. I'm KotLGuy. Be back soon for game number 2 of the Summit 5 European Qualifier matchup, Alliance versus Empire. We'll see you soon.